Alright, what is up people, James Baek here, today with another episode of VGC 17 back-to-back battles on the channel today with the team of Hariyama, Alola Form Exeggutor, Arcanine, Snorlax, Tapu Lele, and Mimikyu. My opponent's team will be rocking the Tapu Lele, Talonflame, Incineroar, Xurkitree, Drampa, and Garchomp. Very interesting team. Today's Friday the 13th, if you guys and girls didn't know, and I'm questioning if my luck will be good or bad today. I didn't really play Pokemon today because of the fact it's Friday the 13th. So, let's see what can happen. So, Mimikyu is a must bring against that Tapu Lele, but the question is, do I exactly want to bring it? But Mimikyu is excellent against my opponent's team. The fact it can play rough, Garchomp, and Drampa, the fact it can do a lot of damage to that Tapu Lele is very impressive. So, definitely, I think necessary. Tapu Lele also doesn't look too bad. How do I want to handle this? Maybe lead Arcanine Mimikyu? I mean, it's great against physical attackers if my opponent decides to lead that, like a Garchomp Talonflame lead. I don't need Snorlax too much. Although Snorlax is better than Hariyama, so let's go Snorlax and Tapu Lele in the back. It's kind of weird I'm bringing Tapu Lele because I'm still running out of Life Orb set. I need to change it to the Choice Scarf variant, I think. Because I think Choice Scarf would be a lot better on this team. But my opponent decides to bring Tapu Lele. The Talonflame is basically worthless because you cannot go for Supersonic Sky Strike or Brave Bird. You can go for Tailwind under Psychic Terrain though. So we're going to see Incineroar Talonflame come out and... ooh, I can make some cheeky plays. Alright, so we get the Intimidate off with our Mimikyu, which is pretty good. We get the Intimidate off. We can see a Fake Out. Does this Talonflame carry Will-O-Wisp? That's the question. We could see Tailwind from Talonflame here, though. I think the best place to go into Tapu Lele and just go for the Trick Room here. Actually, I think I'm max HP Tapu Lele. I think that's a mistake. I'm supposed to be max speed modest, I think. Oh, I think a Trick Room's fine here. I don't think you're targeting the only moves you would target down Arcanine with is a Fake Out, Brave Bird, or Darkest Lariat. So I think we're fine going to Tapu Lele here. As I would assume Tailwind would be my opponent's first choice. Oh, it's actually going to be the Supersonic Sky Strike, and this does not work under Psychic Terrain. So this this Tapu Lele switch is perfect. So we're going to see it surround itself with Z power. It does not work. Oh, Roar is going to come out, though. Interesting. Who's it bringing out? It's going to bring out Arcanine. So, alright, I get Revolving Intimidate. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I think I have a free Calm Mind I could go for right here. I don't want to Roar the Talonflame in case he wants to switch out. Calm Mind is pretty safe. A Psychic will knock out the Talonflame, no doubt. So maybe I want a Psychic Will-O-Wisp that slot. Or I can Moonblast Incineroar. Do I value... well, Incineroar's at -2. Talonflame can still do something. At least we already wasted Z move, so I'll go for the Psychic Will-O-Wisp into that slot. In case Talonflame wants to switch out into Tapu Lele, that's fine. We're just going to see the Flare Blitz, actually. It's going to be -2, and this isn't a boosting item. Yeah. That did absolutely nothing. We do get the Psychic off. That will be able to knock out the Talonflame. So Talonflame's going to go down. Excellent. Not bad at all. We do take Life Orb damage, and we'll probably take a very strong attack here. It's going to be Flare Blitz, actually. So double Flare Blitz. If this knocks out Tapu Lele, I'm actually okay with it. Tapu Lele able to survive. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring out. Garchomp, I would assume would be the #1 Pokemon. It's going to be his own Tapu Lele. Interesting. So I wonder if this is Scarf or not, but I don't think I mind if it being Scarf. I kind of just want... do I want Double Protect? Because that could give his Incineroar a free switch. I'm going to Moonblast that slot and Will-O-Wisp that slot. Because I never want the Incineroar to get a free switch into Garchomp. Garchomp could be a very huge problem. But we're going to see the Psychic come out. Target on the Arcanine, actually, which does a huge amount of damage. That's Specs. I'm very confident that's Specs. Moonblast does a lot to Incineroar. Two Flamethrowers might have been able to knock it out. Never mind. A Sitrus Berry is going to activate, so I'm okay with that. I'm content. Will-O-Wisp into the Incineroar in case he wants to switch, and the Flare Blitz. Okay, so he's weakening himself pretty... okay. I do not mind that too much. The damage should be Specs, because this is a very specially defensive Arcanine if you people don't know. So I'll go out into Mimikyu right here. I could potentially just get Trick Room up and win the game. The problem is I don't want him to get a free switch into Drampa. So I could just go for the Trick Room here. And switch out Arcanine. I don't know if you want to switch out Tapu Lele, but Tapu Lele I think you would want to switch out. Maybe I'll just go for the Never-Ending Nightmare into the Tapu Lele and a switch out into the Snorlax because Arcanine's not doing much. I get to Preserve Intimidate. Arcanine switches out first, so I'm guessing Tapu Lele stays in. And I'm pretty sure this is Specs. Nice. Okay. So we get the Never-Ending Nightmare, and this should knock out the Tapu Lele 100%. And now it's going to be the question of what is my opponent's last Pokemon. So we get the Never-Ending Nightmare off. I was really scared of the Drampa switching, which is why I wanted to go into Snorlax, because Snorlax does usually... Well, actually, it's a speed tie between Drampa and Snorlax, but I wanted to save Arcanine in case the Garchomp's in the back, and he didn't switch into that, because Garchomp could be a threat if he breaks my Disguise right here. We're going to see Roar, actually, so he's just preventing this Trick Room. That's actually kind of bad for me, because I did want the Intimidate to be saved. So, good play by my opponent to make sure that I couldn't get that Intimidate off, or the Trick Room off. But we'll see what my opponent decides to bring in the back. It's going to be Xurkitree, actually, so this is going to be a very, very interesting game for my opponent. I think I just Flamethrower Facade the Xurkitree. I don't need to set up Belly Drum with Snorlax to win. Incineroar's at -3. The only thing that can do damage is the Xurkitree. He's going to go for Thunderbolt into Arcanine. I don't know if that's Scarf damage, but I still have Disguise on Mimikyu, so I'm pretty content with that. Beast Boost is going to activate, get the Special Attack Rise, which is fine. It's Life Orb, okay. So that means I do... Okay, if he doesn't burn me, we should put him into a range where Shadow Claw knocks him out. Okay. And we get the Facade off. Yeah, Xurkitree's pretty frail. I'm pretty sure that's Shadow Claw range. And even if it isn't, the Life Orb damage should put him in range of that. So we go into Mimikyu here. We just click Shadow Claw and play... Yeah, Shadow Claw and Facade. Even if Xurkitree protects, Mimikyu does outspeed to Xurkitree the following turn. So no Protect is going to come out. We're going to see the Shadow Claw and doesn't pick up the knockout, but my opponent actually goes for a +1 Discharge. Okay. But he does faint to a Life Orb, so we do win. I think he had to try live the Shadow Claw and 2 Life Orb hits. Double para. Disguise is going to be broken. He should not be able to live that. He's going to get the Beast Boost from his own partner. But yeah, Life Orb was enough to take him out. And even if he didn't, he needed to go for Discharge again. And knock out my Mimikyu somehow, but with the Figy Berry on Snorlax, we're able to heal back to, I think, where we live with Discharge. Actually, no, we probably wouldn't live the Discharge crit the following turn because of the fact he got another Beast Boost, so yeah. I think we played that pretty well, though. The fact we were able to reveal the Tapu Lele's item was pretty nice. It would have been difficult if it was Scarf, because Scarf Psychic would have been annoying to deal with. Luckily, my opponent did not decide to break the Mimikyu's Disguise early in the game. Because if that happened, it would have been very hard. Since Mimikyu was always protected by that Disguise, it just made it so much easier to play around with it. My opponent decided to keep going for Roar instead, trying to prevent the Trick Room, but I didn't need Trick Room to win the game necessarily. And I'm actually surprised that we were able to win that game without just getting a single Belly Drum off. Tapu Lele actually putting in a lot of work. So, Yeah. I do like this team, but it does need changes, especially the HP stats. Let me just say, I haven't found the HP berries yet, like the ones that reduce EVs. I don't even know if they're in this game, to be honest. If they are, please let me know if you can find them and where, because I really need those HP berries. I really do need them. I need them so bad, because I need to change the Snorlax into Hariyama to have even HP stats. I wonder how many games we can win this team. It's taking a long time to find a battle. I'm really hoping we find another battle. Okay, there we go. 1869 from the United States, CDZ of California, with the team of, okay, pretty standard, Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Arcanine, Garchomp, and Gastrodon. I feel like I played this person before because I'm pretty sure I saw well, the team's pretty common, but I'm pretty sure they were in the exact same slots. So, how do I want to handle this? Tapu Lele is pretty threatening. Actually, I really want to get that Exeggutor win. Do I want that Exeggutor win? But the smartest play is to go for the Trick Room. Maybe Hariyama Mimikyu, because it's pretty safe against my opponent. Let's lead Hariyama Mimikyu, Snorlax, and Exeggutor in the back. I think Sleep Powder can pull in a lot of work. Arcanine really doesn't do much other than Celesteela, but again, Hariyama can do that work. So can Snorlax. And the Sleep Powder can help. I need to get rid of that Tapu Lele ASAP, because Tapu Lele will be a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. So we'll see how this goes. I do think we can win this game. It's going to take some maneuvering, though, especially against that Tapu Lele. Especially if he leads it, it's going to be problematic. It's going to be Tapu Lele Arcanine. So, I can't figure out the item exactly. He does get the Intimidate off onto Mimikyu, but I don't know if that'll be enough to lift the Shattered Psyche. Tapu Lele could also switch out here, which is a bit problematic. The question is, I do want to keep my Hariyama around, so I think the best place to go into my Snorlax to eat up a Psychic. I just don't know if this will. I just don't know if he's Protect or not. I would assume Scarf on this team because this team does need some speed. So I will go for the Shattered Psyche into. I mean, not the Shattered Psyche. The Never Ending Nightmare into the Tapu Lele, because I do want to pick up the Knockout. It's actually not Scarf, which is surprising because I think he needs speed on his team. The only Pokemon that he has that's really speedy is Tapu Koko, and I guess Garchomp, but I don't think Garchomp's that speedy. So we're going to get the Never Ending Nightmare. It is at -1, but this should be able to knock out Tapu Lele. If not, Shadow Claw should definitely pick up the Knockout at this range. Nice. So Tapu Lele goes down turn 1. Excellent. And let's see what the Arcanine does. Will-O-Wisp, Roar. Okay. That's actually perfect for me because not only do I get to reset my attack stat, I get to bring in a Pokemon. Exeggutor. And it's just very Arcanine. So it's not Safety Goggles. That's perfect because I can Sleep Powder it the following turn. Let's see who my opponent decides to bring out next. It's going to be the Garchomp, which is understandable. I don't know if you double target down the Exeggutor or you target down the Snorlax. They're both pretty big threats. I kind of think that Belly Drum plus Trick Room is pretty safe because if you knock out Snorlax, you could just Roar, I guess. Maybe I should just Sleep Powder the Garchomp. And Facade the Arcanine. I guess I do have to Sleep Powder the Arcanine at some point because it is preventing me from getting Trick Room. So I can see Tectonic Rage here. It's going to be Dragon Claw though. Okay. So I could have switched on to Mimikyu, which would have been great. Oh, he's actually going for the Flare Blitz straight up. Targeting the Exeggutor. Okay. So maybe the better play was Belly Drum there. But I don't think that's too bad for me. I do get the chip damage onto the Arcanine. That's actually a lot of chip damage, not gonna lie. Mimikyu comes out. I can go for a Taunt into the Arcanine. And I think I could go for a Belly Drum. Because I don't think unless you target Snorlax with the Tectonic Rage for some reason. I don't think you do at this position. I'm going to Belly Drum Taunt the Arcanine. We're going to see the Garchomp actually withdraw, which is perfect for me. Celesteela is coming in. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is actually great. So we get to taunt the Arcanine. I wasn't expecting to switch, but I definitely knew that Garchomp wasn't in the likely position to be able to do much. Dragon Claw and Tectonic Rage were probably his best options, unless my opponent had Sub or Sword Stance. So nice. And yeah, you can't use Roar after the taunt. Excellent. And I could Facade the Arcanine, but I could also just go for a Trick Room here. I think I want to protect... I don't need to protect though. I think we live the Heavy Slam plus the Flare Blitz. So I'm actually going to go for the Facade, and I think I'll go for my Trick Room. Or I could go for Taunt. I think Taunt's the better play into Celesteela. Yeah. Let's go for Taunt into Celesteela. We're actually going to see the match forfeited. I don't... Unless my opponent didn't have Substitute, I guess that's fair. But I definitely think my opponent definitely could have won that because he had the Celesteela and it wasn't going to be knocked out to Facade. And the fact that Mimikyu was in a weird spot because if I Trick Room and he went for, let's say, Substitute, it was definitely an awkward position because Celesteela would have been able to get its health back. Actually, looking back at the battle, I should have definitely went for the Trick Room instead of the Taunt because if he doesn't go for Sub or Leech Seed there, Heavy Slam is going to be a threat to my Snorlax. He gets the berry. I get the berry recovery. He also gets the Flare Blitz onto the... Well, actually, no. He had two plays. You could Flare Blitz, Heavy Slam the Mimikyu, try and knock it out, and then hope Tectonic Rage is able to knock out the Snorlax. Or you double up into Snorlax and hope you are able to knock it out, which I don't think is the play. You definitely target Mimikyu, I think. Which is why I kind of want to go for the Taunt, but if my opponent didn't decide to double up into the Mimikyu slot, Trick Room would be the better play. So it depended on that, and I definitely think my opponent could have won. It was like a 50-50 there. Well, that depends if it's the Garchomp has Tectonic Rage or not, of course. But we'll be right back for a third battle, I guess. Alright, grabbed my 3DS charger, so we are ready to go. Let's get that third win. Let's go. Yesterday, if you have not watched yesterday's battle or video, definitely go check it out. But we were 2-0 and then we dropped to 2-1. So can we pick up the win in this episode? Let's find out, Mr. Japanese person or Mrs. Japanese person with the team of Gengar, Alola Form, Muck, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, Celesteela, and Arcanine. I'm already having doubts of can I beat this team. The Gengar is a terrible matchup. It really is. It just shuts down my team. Tapu Fini is also a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. So, how do I want to beat this team? I have no idea. And I'm not even sure if Trick Room can help. Well, if I get rid of my opponent's Gengar, I feel like Snorlax can potentially 1v1 this team. So I'm going to lead Arcanine Mimikyu, I think. Get rid of that Gengar 100%. Tapu Lele, Snorlax in the back. I want Snorlax because it does deal better against Tapu Fini and Tapu Bulu. So I think this is a more solid play. I'm not even sure if I can even win with the Belly Drum set. I might have to go to Calm Mind route with the Tapu Lele, but I have to get rid of Gengar in order to do that. And it's also pretty hard to do that against the Celesteela, which I could definitely see being brought here. Tapu Bulu will probably be the one left behind. Tapu Fini might be a choice from my opponent. We'll see how this goes. Tapu Fini and Muck. So now what I was expecting at all. But we do get to lead the Arcanine and Mimikyu. So, alright, this is... Okay, Tapu Fini is pretty bad for me. I could actually just go out. Maybe I could just trick him up right here. That might be the best play because... yeah, I think that would be the best play. Because I don't lose Arcanine. Yeah, I think I'm going to Trick Room. The reason is because if I stay out to leave Arcanine in, because the play I want to do is go for the Will-O-Wisp and switch out into Tapu Lele onto the Muck. But the problem with that is I would take a lot of damage with Arcanine. This play, I reduce the amount of damage that my opponent can do, and I can get the Trick Room up. and potentially the Belly Drum after, depending on how much damage these Pokemon do. So we'll retreat right here into Snorlax. We'll probably see a Muddy Water combined with a knockoff. Yep, Muddy Water's going to come out. Let's gauge the damage. Let's see if it specs or not. That, I can't tell, to be honest. Knockoff into Mimikyu, which makes sense. And we do get to trick him up. Alright, not bad of a situation. Definitely not bad of a situation. I think my best play here is to go for the Belly Drum. Straight out. And I do want to preserve Mimikyu. But I don't know if switching to Arcanine is the right play. I think it is because I don't want to lose Mimikyu right here. And I don't want to lose Snorlax to a Poison Jab, Muddy Water. So I'll go into Arcanine right here. Because I do think it's the safest switch. I mean, I should be able to live at least one Specs Muddy Water. And this way my Snorlax can get set up. So this isn't too bad for me right here. Intimidate will activate. And I want to go for the Belly Drum first because I don't want to get knocked off right away. So we're going to get the Belly Drum up. Let's see. What does my opponent decide to do? That's pretty low for the Snorlax. But I can recover that anytime. The Figy Berry will activate. Poison Jab is going to come out into the... Oh, no. Oh, you can't poison me, right. And Muddy Water. No avoids, unfortunately, but... That's not too bad. That's Specs. And no accuracy drop. Perfect. And the Tapu Fini slot cannot protect. So I can go for a safe Facade into that slot. I don't even have to recycle at this point. I could always do it at a later point. And I think I'm going to go switch out into Mimikyu again. Because I don't want to get knocked off yet. And I want to preserve Arcanine for a potential Will-O-Wisp. We're going to see Muck actually withdraw, which is fine. Arcanine's going to come out, but can Tapu Fini live a +5 Facade? It actually might be able to, and if it does, that's actually pretty scary. So we'll see how this works. We're going to withdraw our Arcanine. Go out into Mimikyu. I think this was the best play no matter what. And I'm hoping this Facade is able to pick up the knockout. If Return would have been able to pick up the knockout, better option. Facade might not be the play on this team. But we are able to survive with the Snorlax. Accuracy drops, though. Double accuracy drops. What are you doing, team? I think we recycle here, though. This is pretty bad, not gonna lie. If he has extreme speed, oh no. If he has extreme speed, we lose anyway. That was a beautiful switch into Arcanine. He was able to survive. Plus the fact, okay, so first he was able to survive, which was really impressive in the first place. But the fact he might have extreme speed and go for the knockout is very scary. Shoot, can we live? No. That takes the game. Alright, so the change to this team I'm going to make? Put Return on the Snorlax because Facade is not working. Man. Let me see. Yeah, by the way that Facade did, how much that Facade did, Return would have definitely picked up the knockout. I can't even win unless Muddy Water double misses. Yeah, so that's disappointing. That's actually really disappointing. Snorlax not coming through. But Tapu Fini was pretty bulky, so Calm Mind. Hope that he misses. Goes for what should we go for? We should go for a Shadow Claw. I mean, it doesn't matter because he should just Muddy Water Flare Blades the Mimikyu slot. We're actually going to see the withdraw, so into Celesteela. Well, I still think we lose to that anyway. So, let's see. Muddy Water. Oh. I still think we lose. Celesteela next to Muck was not to play. If I wanted to win, I need to Shadow Claw the Arcanine slot. So we get the Calm Mind up, but it doesn't really help us in this position. We could have potentially came back, though. If I was able to Shadow Claw the Celesteela, depending on how much damage it did, maybe a Psychic plus another Shadow Claw would be able to knock it out. But the Muck was a very annoying issue. Trick Room does return to normal. Maybe my opponent's afraid of Thunderbolt. Maybe I can gamble off of random Protect. Oh wait, we have Never Ending Nightmare actually. But the Muck is too much of an issue. Okay, I needed to to win the game, I needed to what I needed to do was Shadow Claw the Celesteela slot, Never Ending Nightmare, hope that the combination's able to knock out the Celesteela, and then Protect Tapu Lele, I think. I don't know, it would have been a shoddy chance to win, but I think it was a better chance to win than what I have now. Maybe I can crit the Z move, Never Ending Nightmare, into Celesteela. Can we get a crit? A crit could win us the game. If Arcanine randomly, if Muck randomly protects here. I do not agree with the Protect. But if I double up onto Celesteela, I honestly don't see a point of protecting Muck, to be honest. I really don't. What benefits do you get from protecting Muck? I think you should just go for the double attack. I already revealed Calm Mind on Tapu Lele. You can pick up the knockout Mimikyu pretty easily. Maybe you were scouting for Protect from one of my Pokemon? I don't think that's how it works. Oh, Shadow Claw plus... That Never Ending Nightmare did pathetic damage. Yeah, so I need to Shadow... Okay, so how I potentially could have won. Shadow Claw, the Celesteela slot, Never Ending Nightmare, Psychic. Yeah, that's basically how I could have won. Let me see how much Psychic does to Celesteela, though. Or do I want to gauge the damage of Moonblast? Actually, we'll gauge the damage of Moonblast, because I'm actually quite curious how much a +1 does. I hope it'll let me get it off. He should just go for the Poison Jab Heavy Slam. Alright. Moonblast. That's a 75%? That's actually a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting 60. Oh, man. I think we could have won. That's actually depressing. Like, if I Shadow Clawed the Arcanine slot, kept Tapu Fini in, we could have won. Dang it. Because I need to Shadow Claw, Never Ending Nightmare, Psychic to Celesteela. If that Muck protected, then again, I would have left Tapu Fini alone, which would have been a problem. I guess I would have had to Never Ending Nightmare the Celesteela slot. Hope that Psychic is able to pick up the knockout Celesteela. Shadow Claw to Tapu Fini. And then, it would have came down to whether I predict which Pokemon would protect. If it's Arcanine Muck on the back, we have a +1 Tapu Lele that's been damaged, and the Mimikyu at 7 HP. We would have been a -1 with Mimikyu. I don't know, I feel like Psychic should knock out the Arcanine because it's +1 life or Psychic Terrain. But the poison, I think I would have had to double into Muck. No, I don't think we could win because Flare Blitz would be able to knock out the Tapu Lele if I double into Muck, and if I knock out the Arcanine, Poison Jab would knock my Tapu Lele out. So basically, I don't think I had a chance to win unless I was critting my opponent a bunch. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. 2-1 again. Can we get the 3-0? I want that 3-0. I really do. Of course, I think there are changes to be made to this team. If I had return on the Snorlax, I think I just auto-won, to be honest, against my opponent's team. I think I just auto-won, to be honest. And I'm going to change that tonight. I'm definitely going to change that tonight. So, we'll have return on the Snorlax. I'm going to try to find those EV berries and get the HP stats. And I'm going to try to change this Tapu Lele set. But I don't know, actually. That Calm Mind actually did put in a lot of work, not going to lie. So, we'll find out. See you around in another episode of VGC Back-to-Back Battles. If you want to check out the team, paste bin down below. If you missed an episode of VGC Back-to-Back Battles, playlist down below. Check out my social medias as well. Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and yeah. Also, catch the Athens regional stream tomorrow. There is one, and there is a regional in Europe, I think, but I don't know if they're doing a stream for that. Check out my Twitter because I will tweet out any VGC streams that are going on. So definitely go check that out. Otherwise, I'll see you around in another video.